Hey everyone, it's Kato, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing flattening or restarting your island. So this is a really common question that I get asked. People always want to know, should they flatten or should they restart? So I'm going to go over what ultimately prompted my decision to just flatten my island, and I'm going to go through the pros and cons. So let's just get right into it. So obviously, with winter coming to an end and spring starting, I feel like a bunch of people are probably going to be considering either flattening or restarting their islands. With the seasons changing, I feel like it's just a good time to kind of renovate your island, or with the new year, some people may just want a completely new start. So for me, it comes down to what are the benefits of restarting versus just flattening the island? When you're flattening, the benefit is that you get to keep all of your DIYs, all of your cataloged items. That's something that's really important for me. I also, especially with this island, I feel like I have a sentimental connection to it. This was my first island that I created when the game launched, and so I really don't want to get rid of it. I want to keep this island for as long as I play Animal Crossing, because it was my first. I started it on March 20th, and so I feel like that just means a lot to me. So I will probably never get rid of this one. I might consider restarting other ones, just depending on circumstance. But so that's something to take into account. If you're a sentimental person, maybe you want to keep your island for that reason. You also get to keep all of your Nook Miles achievements, your progress with the museum, which I know is important to some people. Those are a lot of things that are very time consuming. Getting all of the fossils, getting all of the art especially, those are things that take a lot of time. So that's just something to consider if you're trying to decide if you want to flatten or restart. The negatives when it comes to flattening is it is also very time consuming. So I started flattening my island actually on Toy Day. I streamed the Toy Day event, and then immediately after I started flattening my island, and at this point I am still flattening. So it's been several days now. It's been a little while, and I'm still working on it. I have obviously started building on my island without finishing flattening it first, so that's also contributing to me not being able to finish flattening. I do recommend, so just a tip for you guys, if you are planning on flattening and you have Nintendo Online, I recommend asking some friends to come and help you potentially, mainly with moving flowers and bushes. I had two of my friends come and help me with that, and it was such a big help for them to dig up the flowers, and you can either trash them or put them on the beach, depending on if you think you're going to use those flowers for your next island. That's another benefit with flattening, is you get to keep all of your flowers if you have any hybrids or anything. So that is also something to consider. So when it comes to restarting, I feel like the biggest thing to take into consideration is, do you think that you'll ever be happy with your layout of your island? Specifically, the things that you can't change. So what I mean by that is your airport color. Are you happy with the items in your Nook stop? Your resident services location. Is it so close to your airport that you just can't stand it and you want to change that? There are other things like your river mouths. I know a lot of people don't like it when they have two southern river mouth exits. It can make it complicated to decorate around them. So I think when deciding if you want to restart or not, you have to take into consideration, do you think with any design that you do that you'll actually be happy with those things that you can't change, because no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to change them unless for some reason Nintendo does an update where you can change those things, which would be amazing, but I don't see that in the foreseeable future. So that is the biggest thing to consider. Now, the pros of restarting your island completely is you would get to change those things. You would get to pick a new map. You know more about the game at this point. You can look at the things that bothered you about your old map and change those when you're considering picking your new map. It's also just nice to have a fresh start, and you would get to relive that beginning of the game, which was so fun to play that at the beginning. So that is something to keep in mind. A tip for you if you are planning on restarting would be, again, if you have a friend, if you have Nintendo Online, or even if you have a friend locally that you could take your stuff to their island, anything that you want to keep, whether that's bells or items, anything like that, you could take it to their island and just have them store it for you so you can have it when you restart your island. I would highly recommend that, especially if designing your island is something that is the most important to you and you want to keep a bunch of those items. You could also, if you're in a Discord, I have a Discord server, all of that information is always down in the description of my videos. You could ask people if they have any spare DIYs lying around. Maybe you could come and grab some, because I know at the beginning of the game that is something that takes a while to accumulate. Another thing to keep in mind if you are planning on restarting is you will have to work your way back up to getting the Island Designer app. So you will have to work on getting your island to 3 stars again before you can terraform, which the last time I did that, it didn't take me too long. I do time travel, so that helps a lot as far as that goes, but that is also something to keep in mind. So just to kind of recap, the pros of flattening are you get to keep all of your items, all of your bells, Nook Miles achievements, and everything that you've gained in the museum. Presumably, you already have a 3-star rating, so you'll be able to keep your Island Designer app. You won't have to work on getting that back. The cons of this are you're kind of stuck with the map that you have, and it is very time consuming to flatten an island. And I know that some people can get kind of discouraged once they flatten an island. Maybe they're lacking inspiration at that point. So if you are planning on flattening, you could also try just flattening one section of your island and working section by section instead of flattening the whole thing. And as far as restarting goes, the pros of restarting are you get to have your choice of a new map, and you can also restart until you get an airport color that you like. You also get to relive the first portion of this game and, just have a new start with it, which is always refreshing and fun. The cons obviously are the opposite of the pros of flattening, so you will have to catalog items again, get DIYs, collect everything, and get your island back to a 3-star rating to get the Island Designer app. So it just depends on where you want to spend your time. Do you want to spend it flattening, or do you want to spend it playing the game to work your way back up to where you were previously? I hope that this information gives you guys kind of some insight on which you would prefer. Let me know in the comments below. Are you planning on flattening your island? Are you restarting? Are you happy with how your island is now? I would love to know. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!